HCTV Sports is supported by The Spool House. From prom to weddings, let us suit your formal wear needs. Culver's of Hastings. From savory butterburgers to sweet scoops of frozen custard, we've got something handcrafted for everyone.
Making the play.
He gets the pin. Raiders are clawing their way back in this game.
Just snipes one.
It's ball game. Over. Save. Oh my God!
Did you see that?
Great diving play.
He's hit a touchdown. Hastings Raiders win the ball game.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to McNamara Stadium at Todd Field for Minnesota High School football playoff action in Section 3-5A as Hastings takes on Two Rivers in a 3-2 matchup. Both teams at 4-4. The Raiders the 2 seed, Two Rivers the 3. The Raiders won earlier this season right here at Todd Field, 29-19. I'm Nick Tuckner alongside Owen Neely, the mailman, and we're here, and it's totally different, but it's the same, right? You get the two teams, they know each other so well, there's no secrets between either team, but it's a whole new game and it's a whole new season. The winner moves on to St. Thomas, the loser is done for the year. There's a lot on the line, so much more than last game. You got to throw that out the window as these two teams meet up tonight, mailman.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you laid out the stage perfectly here. There's nothing better than a Hastings Raiders home sectional, home playoff game here, and like you said, it's win in advance and lose and you go home. So the stakes here are big, and like you said, it's going to be a rematch here and should be a good one. The game that occurred a couple weeks ago, probably a little closer than the score might have indicated, in favor of Two Rivers, but that was a close game. It was a competitive game, but if you're the Raiders, you got to feel good going into this one, knowing that you won the first matchup. If we take a look at the Raiders' schedule there you can see that Two Rivers game on September 26th.
Yeah, the Raiders again taking care of business on homecoming, winning that one 29-19. And as we talked about the bracket too, and just with St. Thomas as we came on the air, they were up big on Apple Valley. So for right now and for all intents and purposes for you that are watching live, we will say that will probably be the winner of this game going to St. Thomas Academy next weekend. You look at the Warriors, and you know what? Their QRF is ranked in the top 20 of the state in 5A. That's because they beat Simley. They also beat Apple Valley, who's been playing some pretty good football this year. That win against Mankato West, perennially a power team, and to do it by 21, I think that really added to that QRF. And shutting out Northfield on the road 20-0 in a place where they haven't been shut out in years, that says a lot about this team coming into the playoffs. The Raiders got to have their best game and even better than what they did on homecoming as we hit the field today.
And the game is beautifully set up too, because it's two teams that are 4-4. It's been sort of inconsistent years. Both teams have had flashes, both teams have had losses. They probably shouldn't have accumulated, but it only starts to matter right now. It only truly starts to matter right now once the rubber meets the road here.
On NSPN Live, also want to welcome everybody who's watching along on Comcast on channels 14 and 799 on HD. As we are here at Todd Field, rain is gone. We've had a couple of spritzes and sprinkles even here during pregame warm-up. Something to watch maybe, but really as we look at the radar, shouldn't be anything that will keep the game at bay by any stretch of the means, especially nothing like we saw at Apple Valley earlier on this season. As the Raiders, who lost the coin toss, Two Rivers won it. They will receive. Raiders will kick left to right on your TV screen. It was an end-over-end kick that'll be taken there by Flancha up the right side, actually spinning away from traffic there. That's going to be Gavin Christopherson. And he'll get across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and that's where the Two Rivers Warriors, formerly known as Henry Sibley for many of you that are my age and probably above, and they come out here in their gold helmets and pants, that real gold white tops with the red trim, very similar to what you might see with the San Francisco 49ers, or at least something fairly close to it. Raiders will be in their home blues, all blue pants, with the gold helmets now emblazoned with that Raider emblem on either side. Hastings comes out defensively with a four-man front to start things off, and out of the shotgun is is Drew Altavilla. He played really well against Hastings in that first game, and he will hand off on the opening carry up the middle. They'll run 3 different running backs throughout the game. Plus, don't forget Altavilla can run as well, as this one initially given here to Jaden Kinsel Arredondo. He's one of those 3 in that 3-headed monster that this team has, as we see him run. Kind of that seam runner, the guy that will get up the middle and bump a little bit with you.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that, it's obviously a run-first offense, but they certainly can pass the ball as we take a look at Arredondo's stats there. 7 rushing touchdowns, definitely a guy to watch out for. But, the Raiders at times have struggled against, multifaceted offenses, so we'll see how they attack it here tonight.
Arredondo, 4 yards per carry, or over 4 yards per carry, almost 5. Just a quick pass out the right side. Raiders will take care of business defensively. A quick pass, and that is complete, but only for 2 yards, if that even. So quick pass out over the right side, and that'll be Longerman, who we knew was banged up a little bit on and off through that first game that they played with each other, but Longerman now a little more healthy, and you can believe will be a catalyst here today against Hastings.
And he's been the mystery man throughout the years on all the rosters, and it's take a look at the stats there. It's definitely a difference when he's on the field versus when he's off the field, that's for sure.
23 yards per catch, Mailman. Unbelievable. As his handoff in the backfield, Raiders will wrap him up, throw him backwards. I don't think he's going to get it, as they're going to hold him short of a first down across the 40, maybe just across the 40, and that's about it. It's 4th down. It'll be 4th and a full yard here for the Raider defense, as Two Rivers looks like they're going to go for it with Drew Altavilla at quarterback. He's getting the play along the far sideline here as we look at that push, and the Raiders right away signaling that's ours.
I almost got a little excited because Shattuck was going to go back for the punt return, but obviously they're going for it here on 4th. A little premature there.
That would have been wonderful, too. We know what that man can do, and I can't wait till he gets his hands on the football momentarily, hopefully sooner rather than later if you're a Raider fan. Out of the shotgun, Altavilla, he will hand off up the middle, trying to push ahead. I don't think they got it. I think the Raiders might have held him short by about a half a yard, folks. We'll see where the spot is. No, they're going to go ahead. It looks like he got the little dive on top of a Raider, and that's probably going to end up giving them the first down, folks. The player fell on top of a Raider who is now down. And with that said, he was not down on the play quite yet, and he's going to end up getting the first down. And the Raiders do have an injury. And we're going to pick this up here momentarily as well. Is it Esterby?
I think it was Birkin.
Is it Craig Birkin?
Birkin was in on the tackle there.
Birkin is down here in the Raider logo.
A real unsung hero for the Raiders. I mean, I know we say that every game. There's so many, but really at all 3 phases of the game, that's a player that doesn't get talked about enough for his impact.
He's been awesome. We're going to be sure to say hello to one of our wonderful supporters in the Spoolhouse, and from prom to weddings, let us suit your formal wear needs. More information is available at thespoolhouse.com/sewing.html. As Birkin gets up, he's walking off on his own power, albeit with a limp. Hopefully just a little cramp in there, or a Charlie horse, is Birkin coming off. 14 carries, 87 yards, has a touchdown. Of course, a kick return as well this year against Bloomington Jefferson.
Yeah, that really was the cherry on top of that Jefferson game.
Man, that was so much fun for Raider Nation, even on the road, as Altavilla does have the first down. And out of the shotgun, pressure comes, far side's got to throw on his off foot, off left, and he has his man, Rory Schuler. It's across midfield and out of bounds at the Raider 46-yard line, so they get across midfield, and now another first down. Move the sticks again, does the Two Rivers Warriors, and Schuler, again, one of those receivers that's been around a while and makes a great grab there, as you saw in the replay. And now first down. As Two Rivers, their first drive of the game, first drive of the playoffs for either team. Out of the shotgun again. Altavilla had a man jump, got back, and now Schuler will, Altavilla will call an audible. He'll hand it off now. Jaden Kinsel Arredondo on right side, won't get much. Looks like the Raiders getting up off the bottom of the pile there with Xavier Tim. Only a gain of 2. Second down and about 8 here now for Two Rivers as they continue to rotate in and out personnel. Julian Lucio into the game now. He is a tight end, 6'1", 190 senior. Might want to keep an eye on him as well. Cole Altavilla, number 6, out to the right side. 3 receivers, man in motion, that's West. He'll give it to West on the jet sweep, gets out to the right, finds a seam, cuts back into the middle, and he'll get near a first down if, yeah, he did get it. First down, gain of about 9. Now that jet, you're seeing a lot of kind of versatility in Coach Orth's offense as you take a look at Lonnie West. And again, even with his season so far, 15.5 yards per reception with 5 touchdowns. Going to have to keep tabs on his speed and elusiveness throughout this game if you're a Raider or a Raider fan. Far hash right, shotgun here for Altavilla. 1 man to the right side, 1 to the left, single back. That's Flancha, takes the carry, and he'll gain about 2. Kind of been the protocol here on first down. You know, they get that 2-yard run right away and then set you up for second and long and then kind of let her rip. See what you can get on first down. That time gain of about 2.5, maybe 3. So second down set up here for Two Rivers, still riding that right hash with Altavilla.
Yeah, it's been a very predictable offense thus far for Two Rivers. You take a look at Altavilla's stats. Anytime you see more touchdowns than interceptions, that's always impressive in my mind at the high school level to go with 7 rushing touchdowns.
Multi-sport athlete's been really good this year for Two Rivers. Back to pass, airmails his intended target. That was West. Had some zip on that ball. And we talked about that the first game, that Altavilla, he looks the part. You know, when he drops back, passes, I mean, fundamentally, he really looks sound. And there, a lot of steam on it. Just airmailed it a little bit as he looked for West.
Yeah, let's leave the airmailing to me.
Oops. Yeah, you are the mailman.
But to your point about the receivers and their average reception, it is a big play pass offense.
Right. Got to hold them down, especially when Lagerman, who's in motion, is out there. And now they'll get a sack. It looked like they were going to maybe try a quarterback draw here. Raiders sent the troops and then some. Tim leading the attack. Boardman also in, and it's great to see Grant Birkin also coming back onto the field. One of the Raiders' senior captains. But yeah, look at that, a gang tackle of epic proportions right up the middle for the blue and gold guys. 4th down.
And Tim has gotten so much better as the season has gone on. I mean, we've really been calling his name the last handful of games.
He might be the most improved player this year on this team. From start to finish throughout this season, I would definitely say the junior is growing into his own at the varsity level. 4th down, and they'll go for it. Two Rivers. Back to pass, Altavilla. Raiders send 4. Pass over the middle. Intercepted by Hastings. And they're down. It's intercepted by Carter Herman O'Brien at the 14-yard line. Would have been a turnover on downs anyway, but Carter Herman O'Brien with the interception for Hastings, just sliding down like he slided to second base. Makes the catch. Raiders take the ball. We do give them about 20 yards in field position, but that's okay. We'll take it all day. Raiders student section decked out in all black. They're happy. They're excited. Let's get a look at the Raider offense for the first time.
Yeah, like you said, you hope the momentum is worth the 20 yards. You know, it's a feel-good thing. Maybe mathematically it's not ideal, but we'll take it.
Just gives more room for Shady to run.
I like the way you're thinking.
He's in the backfield, single setback. He'll get the pitch, look out. He comes near side 15, trots around another man to the 21-yard line, gain of a handful, and makes it look easy per usual. Oh boy, is he fun to watch. And we're at the point now where with 208 carries, 1,746 yards, 22 touchdowns, school record territory all over, everywhere with his stat line. Still has a season more to play. Going to have a lot of college excitement surrounding him over the next weeks and months, and afterwards for that matter, as this one, Hastings has the 2nd and 4, near side hash, and here is Hansen handing off Shady. Up the middle, pushes the pile, and he is very near a first down. I think he was just behind the line here, so it's going to be 3rd down and fairly short here for Hastings. Raiders 4-4, as is Two Rivers. Both teams some nice wins throughout the year. But the Raiders winning head-to-head on a beautiful Hastings homecoming evening. Well, they gave it to the Raiders. Raiders will take a first down, so he was close enough. No measurement. Here is Hansen to the handoff. Shady again bangs off a couple. Some tough yards here for Shady. But he does move the needle just a little bit across the 25-yard line. He'll gain officially 2 for Hastings.
And I think those rematches are always interesting. And I think as we get a look at Carter Hansen, who's really improved as the season has gone on, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, has become really good at that bootleg. I'll get to my point in a second, but he's really improved as well. Might be the most improved offensive player to go with the most improved defensive player in Tim.
Really has been. As a junior, needed to, again, grow into his position. Quick pass, he's got his man, and that's one of those passes you're talking about. And this time, hitting one of the better pitchers in the Hastings baseball rotation, and Carter Lundstrom, and the senior with a big catch. We've seen that a couple times, Mailman.
Yeah, that is just to perfection. I mean, they've really got that down as the season has gone on, and it just pairs so nicely with what Shattuck can do on the ground, because you see, he's starting to get 1, 2, 3 yards of carry. Like you're saying, stretches out the defense.
3 receivers all bunched. And then the motion comes, bringing them all to the left side. Left side is the far side of the field near Hash. Pitch out goes to Zach Shattuck. Finds room, gets back right side, gets at least a first down, carries 4 more for 15. Move the chains.
And absolutely no coincidence that they had that play right there. Now you got them thinking that you can pass the ball, and then there's so much space for Shattuck to operate in there. I mean, we know how deadly he is. Just use like a human joystick when he gets in between all those defensive players.
A lot of Madden-esque moves that young man makes, and makes it look so simplified sometimes. And I know even if I had the best line in front of me, I would not gain 1 yard per carry. Just amazing watching this young man. Out of the eye, fake the handoff, good boot, there it is again. Thrown out to the right side. Lundstrom breaks a tackle, gets out right side across the 25. Thrown out of bounds. Let's move those chains again.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it on the replay here. Again, they got a couple of different ways they can kind of disguise that bootleg rollout kind of lob that Hansen's been so good at, especially the second half of this season. And like I said, I mean, it really pairs nicely with the run game, and you can see, I mean, they're inching towards the end zone here.
Hat tip to Manny, Carter to Carter connection. That was wonderful. Second one on this drive. 3:57 to go here in the first quarter. No score. Raiders first drive near Hash, and on the pitch out to Shattuck. He'll skip across the 25, fall ahead to the 23. He'll gain maybe about a yard there. All right, but I see what they're doing, trying to free him up into space, and you and I both have seen throughout this year and last, when he gets into space, crazy things happen.
Yeah, Grant Birkins back in the game as well, throwing out some vicious blocks. You hope that there's a little bit of restraint to not draw a penalty, because we know how sometimes that goes. Sometimes it's the last person who initiates that gets the flag thrown on them.
Retaliation never pays. Here's the Raiders again, back to pass. Hansen has a man, Foss. Touchdown Raiders! Welcome to the playoffs, Matthew Foss. Great pass. Quick drop. Throws a teardrop. And the rainbow falls into the hands of an awaiting Matt Foss. And it's 6-0 blue and gold, guys.
You see the stats there. That's going to be his 4th touchdown on the year. And we've been talking so much about Carter Lundstrom, and rightfully so. They forgot about Matt Foss, who has been the best receiver the entire year.
Oh, boy, was that fun. Webby's kick up and good. Weber through, 7-0 Hastings with the lead. And not much of the run, but I'll tell you what, Hansen comes out and makes his presence known and felt to the Warriors in a 7-0 Raider lead. And that was a nice drive. I mean, you got to applaud the Raiders. That's about an 85-yard drive. Made it look pretty surgical. As a Raider fan and Raider grad, I'm pretty happy right now, man.
Yeah, rightfully so. So it turns out the momentum boost of the interception did matter. Like you said, it was just more yards for well, not really Shattuck to get, but for Lundstrom and Foss, I mean, it's great to see the passing game really start to hum here for Hastings. You got to figure that's going to pay dividends in not only this game, if they can hold on and win, but as they go on, pretty presumptive that we're going to play St. Thomas, or the winner of this game is going to play St. Thomas, and you got to figure that would pay well in that matchup as well.
I'm sorry, Mailman. Grant Birkin was just walking into the tunnel. Hopefully he is okay. Maybe just get teamed up a little bit more. He did come back onto the field momentarily, but now has retreated to the tunnel here with 3:12 to go, first quarter. 7-0 Hastings on the pass to Foss from Hansen on a great Hastings drive after, and an onside kick opportunity. Raiders going to try for it. Big hit here right side at the 35. Great idea, great opportunity, and after making the reception on that very play, it looks like the Warriors were letting the Raiders know as Deacon Staples, the big tight end, he recovers it here, but what a great idea by Hastings. Got it into that no man's land for all but a moment. And when he got that big fella back there and he holds on to it, he bouncing right off of him. That's what happened.
Yeah, that was a surprise, almost as big of a surprise. I'm sure Hunter will remember that surprise onside kick against St. Thomas a few years ago when they had him on upset alert. I think that was coming out of the half.
Yep. Flancha will take it right side. Won't get much as a flag also comes in. That's in the backfield. You know what that probably means. So we'll let the officials do their duties here and find out what this will be. Is Delfino Mancha, the junior running back, had the carry. There's Bruce Carpenter. He's the co-head coach of the Two Rivers Warriors. Also handles most of the offensive duties. So it is against the offense. That holding call putting Two Rivers really behind the curve early in this drive after recovering that onside kick, and boy, that makes it sting even less to the Raiders now because you're not really, giving up as much field position as you thought you may have just done. So Raiders will come out defensively, first down and 24 yards, or sorry, 20, I think is what it is. Should be 20. Back to pass from the 24. Altavilla escapes, lost a shoe, and then falls ahead. I think that was Altavilla. Somebody lost their shoe or something of the which. What are they looking at here? Is it a mouth guard? Part of his shoulder pad, I think, is what happened.
Well, I think we'll take a look on the replay here. I think we might have a shoe thief on the field. I think that was maybe the contention Two Rivers had. I think a Raiders player was sneaking away with a shoe, and they didn't care for that too much.
Tackle him any way you can, just as long as it's not a horse collar. Let's take a look at Coach Dana Strain, longtime Raider head coach, taking over for another longtime head coach and Hall of Famer, and Mr. Bob Majeski, longtime trooper of the sidelines here in blue and gold. Back to pass. Here's Altavilla down into the weeds. I thought that was incomplete. So third down and extremely long here for Two Rivers. It just looked like he got on top of that a little bit too much, just drove it into the ground. And I don't think from the time it left the hand that thing was going to be anywhere that anybody else is going to make a play, even their own receiver.
Well, if you've watched some local football games lately, I mean, who knows what a catch even is these days.
Don't even start with me right now. Although it doesn't matter, that one play didn't make that game. Here's a throw to the left side. Raiders will be right there, gang tackling. A host of Raiders boardmen in there, along with Braden Thompson. Beissel's in there. Zach Shattuck was in there. Also want to take a minute, too, while we're talking. I want to give a special hello and shout out to Shady's little cousins. The fellas came up here before our last home game, took a picture with me, and had a couple of fun words. They got to listen to the little headsets and stuff. I want to make sure those little guys have a little shout out here. Is this snap and then kick? Not as good either, and this will take a Two Rivers bounce, though, to about the 38, so it didn't seem to be the best of punt. Ends up being all right, and Hastings will take it back. And they have a 7-0 lead here with still 1:10 to go in the first quarter. So a 2-minute drive. Raiders go out there, do their thing defensively. You got to think that the message right now is just punch one in again. Let's get these guys on the ropes early and make them play come from behind football, which we know Two Rivers doesn't like to play.
Yeah, I mean, the game is firmly in control of Hastings. We'll see if they can do anything about it here. But, yeah, like you said, if they could go up 2 scores here, that would go a long way to making you feel pretty comfortable.
Raiders with a good mix of pass and run on that first drive, and here they'll go to the run. Shattuck with nice blocking right side. Breaks a tackle, make it at second. Gets across the 50, which is around the first down spot. Gain about 5 more. Gain of 16 yards for Zach Shattuck. Move the chains. And the Raiders the first down, and right into Two Rivers territory is Shady in the blue and gold.
And you can see on the play there, they had so few players in the box because you got to figure they were thinking that a pass could come here. I mean, that Foss burned him so bad. He burned the top, the top of the secondary was like 5 yards away from the line. So, we talk all the time about stretching it out. I mean, this is the what you get to benefit from.
Carter short, Matty long, and then you have the running back that gets taken down from behind the line of scrimmage, maybe for the first time in a couple games for that matter. And Zach Shattuck taken down. A great play there in the backfield as you watch Zach Shattuck lose yards for maybe, his 4th time of the season is what it seems like anyway. And a great tackle on the play there by Thomas Beckett, 6'4", 210, really strong along that line for the Warriors. Raiders come back on 2nd down, 11 yards to go. Shaney the single set. Line moves from the right to the left. And here is the pitch out to Shattuck. Shattuck finds room left, but then waits and gets into the oncoming hands of one of the defensive players who was right there for Two Rivers, and that was Kendall Arredondo.
Number 26 out there tackling number 26.
Yep.
I mean, he looks like Antoine Winfield, senior, out there with that tackle.
Both running backs, both play both sides of the ball and do it very well at that matter. That's the end of the first quarter. Hastings with a nice drive on their first chance. Now they have the football again after stopping Two Rivers. The score 7-0 here after 1 quarter. You're watching playoff football on Hastings Community Television.
The United Heroes League mainly uses sports as a bridge to help military families stay active and engaged in their communities. We have over 40 professional teams that partner with us for free tickets and camps. We provide access to free sporting equipment.
UHL has provided us with a lot of equipment and a lot of gear that is otherwise sometimes hard to attain.
It's really cool. I get all this free stuff, and it's because of my great dad, who is a veteran.
UHL has been a great supporter, not just for our family, but for all the military families.
We're excited to see what the future holds. We can't wait to see where it goes.
And we're back here as we start the second quarter. Hastings with the football, and it's 3rd down and about 7. Rolling out right side, Hansen has some room, and he throws it in a little bit of traffic, and a great play along the backside. Hastings looking for Foss, but it's broken up by Lamont Michaels, and that'll bring up 4th down. And what do the Raiders do here, Mailman?
You're in no man's land here on the field. I mean, I think for the Raiders, you really got to think about going for it here. It looks like they're probably going to keep the offense out here, but it's a tricky spot in the field. You would love to see the next evolution for Hansen. I don't know if he would have got it there, but you'd like to see the next evolution for him just be taken off and running with it. Because, we've seen him connect on a lot of these bootlegs. We've seen him try to force some passes in there like he did there. You'd like to see him just scramble off with his wheels.
Raiders trying to reset that offense, and now we're going to get a whistle. And I think we're going to call timeout. Yeah, that's a good idea. Make sure on 4th down that you have the right personnel, exactly what you want to have happen, ready to rock and roll here. So, like I said before, Raiders will talk about it here, and that'll give us time to talk about Culver's of Hastings, Mailman. That sounds so good per usual, and one of our post-game stops throughout the season.
Yeah, I just had Culver's last night. I had their chicken tenders.
Yes.
Just the best chicken tenders, as far as I can tell. In the fast food landscape, HCTV Sports is supported by Culver's of Hastings. From savory butter burgers to sweet scoops of frozen custard, we've got something handcrafted for everyone. You can visit us at our location next to Cub Foods in Hastings.
Always tasty, convenient. Just drive through there. Get your number, put it on your window there. They'll come out, bring it to you. Great service. Here's 4th down. Speaking of service, let's see if the Raiders can stay in service offensively. 4th down, call it 8. Raiders stationed at their own 43-yard line. Hansen under center. The fake pitch to Shady. He goes deep. There was contact, and there's nobody there. Intercepted by 2 Rivers deep in Hastings territory. So similar to what Hastings had happen earlier on, 2 Rivers gets one back, and the Raiders started over here on an interception.
Yeah, you really felt like that play was sort of an inflection point for the game. You know, if the Raiders can get the first down and you know, add another touchdown, could have been big. It certainly looked like there was some contact there. You might wonder why the defensive back was so wide open. And, well, we'll let you draw your own conclusions on that one.
Ryder Harahan gets a pick. He is happy. Raiders and Raider fans not. But the ball back in the hands of 2 Rivers here, second quarter. 11:38 to play here in the first half. 7-0 Raiders. And the give is to Mancha up the middle, left side. He'll gain about 4-5, thrown backwards after that, including Thompson, who's coming up off the bottom of the pile for Hastings.
But the silver lining to that, just like the silver lining for 2 Rivers in the exact same scenario that happened a couple of drives earlier, is essentially it's just an arm punt at that point. So the yardage is
negligible. Second down along 4. 2 Rivers along the far hash in front of their own bench, wide side of the field. Back to pass Altavilla, like a 2-step drop. Didn't put much into it. He airmailed it, and that was just fundamentals. You and I both saw the exact same thing. There wasn't much there. He kind of was almost playing football in the backyard, just chucked her up after getting the football. And that'll bring up 3rd down, about 4, like I said, a long 4.
Yeah, they're trying to get Lagerman into the game. I mean, we even saw that in the last matchup between these 2 teams. You know, the game was totally different. I believe in the first half when Lagerman was in there, they were trying to connect with him, and in the second half, he was out of the game.
Raiders again will come back out here with kind of showing 3 down linemen. Back to pass on 3rd and short. That pass is to the left, complete to Lamont Michaels for a first down, and move the chains for 2 Rivers. And a big first down to keep their drive alive. Raiders last time shutting them down after having the ball under 2 minutes in that last drive. So bring it out to midfield.
Yeah, Drew Altavilla knew exactly where he was going on that play. I mean, you could tell the anticipation on that one. It wasn't going anywhere else other than to Lamont Michaels there.
That short side of the field again, they'll work. 1 receiver to the left, wide to the right side, also one here for 2 Rivers. And the give this time in the backfield is to Verdeja, and he'll power himself to a first down and then some. So Johnny Verdeja checks in, the senior, 5'9", 190, little bowling ball, runs his way to another first down. And now here is 2 Rivers moving the chains on back-to-back plays. Barrett Boardman's down. Oh boy, the Raiders cannot afford to lose linebacker Barrett Boardman here. He's trying to get up. It is definitely a leg injury of some sort, trying to hop it off. Again, not sure if this is a cramping situation or if this is a knee or an ankle thing. But he will be headed to the bench. Training staff will start work on him as well. Not what the Raiders need here. Now, the one thing we'll say about the Raiders, though, is they have a little bit of depth at linebacker, and they have some kids that really can step up and play very well. And the one that I had coming to mind is the fellow who's now on the field. That's Lucas Keller, who will come in and play outside linebacker here, and we'll move one of the other fellas, probably Thompson, to the middle, I would think, or Esterby. Well, Esterby will play up along the side, so he'll still be on the outside. Out of the shotgun again. Altavilla to pass, looking left the whole way, and he puts it up for Lagerman, overthrew it. He had him there. Now the Raiders had pretty good coverage, And it looks like we're going to get a late flag, and I have no clue what that. It's going to be pass interference of some sort I'm hearing in the press box. Now, I was following the ball. We might have to take a look here on the replay and see what that might be.
Yeah, they've been targeting Lagerman a handful of times here in the first half. That's a big penalty right there, because I don't think that was really a catchable ball there for Lagerman. That's going to go against the Raiders. Well, we'll take a closer look here and see if we can't find the infraction. A little bit of tugging there, but
come on. I don't know, guys.
Seemed pretty superficial.
Okay, first down with the penalty. 2 receivers out to the left side, now the wide side. Near side short, one out to the right, that's Lonnie West. Out of the gun, Altavilla will hand on, no, he'll keep, and then he'll throw it out left side. On a quick pass, trying to get it into the hands of Julian Lucio. Instead, it'll be incomplete.
Well, we'll take another look at the replay. It's good to see.
Sorry, that's Cole Altavilla, 6, not 5.
I was going to say it's good to see Boardman back in the game because he was there on the pressure. There we saw another look at the alleged PI.
The cramping might be an issue, kind of a cold, and I don't say humid, but, rained earlier on today. It's kind of damp, if you will. 10:03 to go, second quarter, 7-0 Hastings. Handoff for Deja, goes off left, runs into the outer waiting hands of Thompson, but instead breaks through there and ends up gaining a couple of extra yards. Raiders had him bottled up, but Deja fights for a couple of extras, and now third down and about 5 here in the red zone too. So this could even be 4-down territory. I'm not sure if Two Rivers is looking at kicking anything here tonight or not. Jack Pick listed as the kicker here tonight. Out of the gun, Altavilla, again hands off for Deja. Pushes a pile for a first down and then some. Gets down to the 10, maybe inside the 10-yard line. As Two Rivers now playing some bully ball between the hash marks, and they will continue moving the chains. Really nice drive here for Two Rivers.
Yeah, like you said, they're playing some bully ball here. I mean, the Raiders certainly have enough players on the ball carrier, but at some point they got to stop the momentum because they've really been getting gashed here by Two Rivers on this drive.
Tale of 2 defensive drives for Hastings after holding them to nothing, 3 and out, quick 2 minutes of possession, and now a great possession here for Two Rivers, and they're close to delay of game, and we'll see. It should be delay, and is it? It is going to be procedure instead of the delay of game, even though the play clock was up against 0.
Well, if you're the Raiders, you'll take anything you can get there, any sort of buffer zone you could put between yourself and the end zone. This is starting to have the feel of the first game these two teams played against each other, where it was just so evenly matched and back and forth, and then somebody pulled off at the end.
8:25 to go. Back to pass. Altavilla right side has his man. To the 5, to the 3, to the 2, out of bounds. Off right side. And that pass caught by Brady Kinsel. And inside the 5. Like I said, I think it's right about the 2 where he went out. 8:17 to go. And definitely knocking on the door of their first score of the game is Two Rivers. Raiders trying to bend but not break in this situation here.
I mean, the way Two Rivers has been moving, it's going to take quite a defensive stand here by the front 4 here for Hastings.
Verdeja as well has really been bulldozing his way around, and he'll take the handoff this time, and he is in with relative ease, kind of like he ran that entire drive, and Verdeja in for a touchdown. Johnny Verdeja in from 2, and it's 7-6. Raiders still lead pending the extra point try.
And this is why the Two Rivers offense is so deadly. I mean, you look at who was getting it done on that drive. Verdeja, you know, maybe not the #1 option for Two Rivers, but they can play the hot hand, and they played the hot hand there. You know, with Kinzel with the big reception to set it up at the 2. They have so many different wide receivers and running backs, so many different weapons they can put in there.
Jack Pick, right-footed kicker, puts it through. And we're tied. 7 apiece here on HCTV. Nick Tuckner, the mailman Owen Ely, also here for all the fun here in the playoffs. Raiders look pretty good early, and now all of a sudden, after chewing up some clock and plenty of field, Verdeja in from 2 there, just bulldozing in. And, yeah, it gave a little bit of confidence back. If you're a Raider fan, you wanted to see him at home after getting that 7 and getting the ball back after a 2-minute drive from Two Rivers to score. But now all of a sudden you look at how everything's changed. The whole tide of the game has changed now at 7-7 here with 8:13 to go first half.
Well, like I was saying, I hate to be Nostradamus here, but, you know, that 4th down play, like I said, probably was going to be such a big inflection point, and it was. You don't want to assume if they would have got the 1st down, they would have scored, but obviously the offense was humming. You know, that's potentially a 14-point swing right there,
Right.
Not getting in the end zone, the questionable interception, but then obviously, you know, the hard powering drive they had down the field, and now you're sitting here tied when, you know, you were thinking this game maybe would have been a little more easier at this point.
Raiders will get the football here with 8:13 to go in the first half. They would love to chew up as much clock ending with the score as possible, knowing they will get the ball to start the second half. Little boot shot here will be taken at the 20 by Birkin. Birkin's return one for a touchdown this year. Steps around another guy, gets to the 30, falls ahead to the 34. He's sneaky, one of the better return guys on his team for not exactly having a 4.1 speed. He definitely has done a great job. He's just smart the way he's running here near side. Step around one guy. Okay, I got the seam. I'll get about 4 or 5 more. Just smart, tiptoeing yards, and nothing wrong with that.
I mean this as a compliment. Every single yard he gets is the toughest yard ever gained. I mean,
Right.
it's never open field running. It's always stiff arming somebody.
why
It's
I love
always
it.
running through somebody. even on the Bloomington Jefferson one. I mean, that was
That
he
was
had to go
so
through
awesome.
several people.
That play alone, when he was running through everyone and listening to the Raider fans far side just get into it, it was fantastic. Shady gets a handoff here and then triple teamed and thrown down after a gain of 6 to the 40-yard line. So second down, about 4 long for it then. But the Raiders moving the football, and as we kind of talked about, chew up some clock, have a smart, methodical drive here and get that football to start the second half.
It definitely could be set up to end this first half advantageously for Hastings if they play it right.
Raiders back out again under center Hansen. Line moves from left to right with the receivers and tight ends. Pitch out Shady. Shady cuts in near side, breaks through to midfield, gets the first down. That's where he's taken down. So Shady Shattuck again moving and really kind of in sync with this Raider offensive line. They know the push that they're giving him. He reads that line, and he takes those lanes. Whatever he's given by his guys, he is so smart to find that cutback and find that lane. And usually it's for 8 to 12 yards like he did right there.
Yeah, you know, on the previous drive, he was getting stuffed a little bit. Now you can start to feel him breathe and start to get some momentum here behind the Raiders line, like you were saying.
Hastings here. Hands off. Shattuck thrown down. Oof. Big men in the middle there, and it always has been the case for Two Rivers, and this of the which is David Rice, 6 foot 250. He plugged up that hole nowhere for Shady to go. As you look right here, you run into a couple masses of humanity, including Sawyer Rolfus, and don't forget about him, 5'10", 350, and he is a big mamma jamma, and he plays so well along that line for Two Rivers, and he is one of the toughest D linemen to go up against in the league. Raiders back out again. Second down and 11. Back to pass. Hansen rolling right, puts it up, has a man, and Lundstrom caught it, but he was out of bounds. He had the reach, he had a little bit of everything on everyone in the secondary, but unfortunately out of bounds, as we'll watch Hansen kind of roll out right here, but find his man off the fingertips, and by the time he found possession, out of bounds. So 3rd down and 11. Tough spot here for Hastings to be in right now. Not a lot of time has come off the clock here in the second quarter. First half, 6:22 to go. Now you're at 3rd and 11. Playbook shortens a bit. What do you got ready for this spot? Hastings back across midfield on the other side. Hansen puts it up off Matty Foss's hands and intercepted. Intercepted by Two Rivers and Christian Richardson. And Two Rivers will take over at the 45-yard line. Big interception here for the road team in a tie game approaching halftime.
Yeah, that's about worst case scenario there for Hastings. Now you got the momentum. You turn the ball over here. Two Rivers, they were gashing you on the last drive here. So again, these inflection points, I mean, this is a big one that could go in favor of Two Rivers if the Raiders defense doesn't get something going here. We'll take another look at the interception. It seems like again, it was almost the same with the pass previous. It was a little too high.
Yeah.
It was a little too high, and that resulted in the tip and the interception.
Everything fundamentally looked good. Quick drop back, quick release. I mean, everything was there, just the pass a little bit high. And now Longerman on the jet. He was caught in the backfield, broke a tackle, not the second one. Raiders get a man in there. Boy, I thought he was going to get loose. Instead, Landon Johnson said, you ain't going any further. And that's still a tackle for loss. Raiders could have had 2 different tackles for loss. Nice job there by the blue and gold guys getting in the backfield.
It was either a 4-yard loss or a 2-yard loss. It was your choice there. And this is exactly what they need. They need somebody on the defense to stand on their head and make sure that this stays a 7-7 game when this possession is over.
When Beisel gets the backfield as a linebacker, he is a menace. He is a menace. You got to get the ball into your hands. You got to find a way to get across the line of scrimmage. He is just a beast when he gets across that line. The Raiders, speaking of beasts, look who just joined the party in the middle there. That was Gabe Durham. Oh my goodness. He said, talk about plugging up the middle. We'll play some physicality too. And I'm talking 5'10", 260, a senior. And he comes in there, plugs that hole. And he ain't going anywhere. 3rd and long is the Raider defense showing up here to start this drive too.
And you love to see that. You love to see the small linebacker, the big defensive lineman. It's not always necessarily about the size. Sometimes it's about the size of the dog in the play there, however the saying goes.
Gabe's kind of like, Jalen Redmond for the just kind of that undersized plugger, and there's a pass out right side, and it's going to be a first down. Great catch. Pulled down there by William Paper. And then he runs over a couple of Raiders en route to a first down. So a couple of drive-saving plays here, and Paper with the catch and runs his man over as he also took him down at the same time. Man, oh man. Physicality is not even a strong enough word to describe what we're seeing on the field between these two rivals here in the playoffs.
Well, for many reasons, you're thankful it's a little warmer out here, because that would be very painful if it was 25 degrees like it's been in years past.
I remember the year that we were kind of all outside, and say the COVID year, and we played late into the season, started the season late, and then played into the. There was some winter feeling nights. I mean, that was not just fall weather. So it's not like that, but still for these kids who've been playing in 70 to 80 degree temps really all season, it's been beautiful, minus the Apple Valley game. That now you have one that the temperature barely hits 50. It's been kind of raining on and off throughout the day. Yeah, a little bit different, and we're seeing cramps. Obviously, the guys that we've seen coming off the field in pain, we've noticed that they've all come back in the game because it's been crampage. It's been that cold weather, the warm to cold stuff that the kids just aren't used to yet. So hopefully they're able to find a way to kind of sharpen the muscles up as they go back in the second half and come out fresh, because we can see how physical this Two Rivers team is. Raiders are going to have to find a way to equal, and it's got to be physicality, but you got to find it deep down and have that energy to do it.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that it could be 90 degrees, it could be 20 degrees. Cramping is always going to be something you have to deal with. I mean, there's never a time where a team is not facing it.
Super hot days, super cold days. It always seems more pronounced, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's something that you get landed on wrong, you could cramp up, and it could be very painful. People don't understand if you've never been in a scrum like a tackle like that. Yeah. Back to pass. Here's Altavilla as he rolls out left. He's going to run it left, and he has a first down himself, and he's been able to run that football all season long as well. We talked about 3 running backs. We also have one whale of a quarterback that can run it. Dick Craig saying penalty, penalty, penalty. So we have a penalty somewhere on the field, and who is it on? This is a big call here. Dick Craig says it's on Hastings. They're saying a late hit potentially. And the Raiders have really gotten themselves on some penalties here tonight. That's not been the case throughout the year. And the Raiders are picking a wrong time to let Laundry find their way onto the field.
Yeah, you know, there's never a good time to shoot yourself in the foot, but certainly when they're driving down the field, the last 2 drives, getting some of these penalties is less than ideal.
Penalties, turnovers. It's been the story of this particular quarter here for Hastings and for Two Rivers for that matter. Handoff this time is not going to go too far. Strip it away! Hastings strips the football in the red zone, and I think it's Carter Herman O'Brien that pulls it out of there. And oh my goodness, the running back, Jaden Kinzel Arredondo, can't believe it, but believe it. Watch this here, mailman.
That is exactly what they needed. They're driving down the field. We saw this earlier on the drive. Players making plays. Nearly stopped them on that 3rd down, but they get the strip there. I mean, you had 10 yards to go before that was a touchdown. That's exactly what they needed.
Did we just say we have to be more physical than this physical team? That is a physical play. That is how you do it. Steal the football back and a chance to score before halftime and get that football. Let's turn this tide of the game again. Handoff this time goes to Zach Shattuck, and he'll rumble. Yes, I said it. He rumbled that time. A physical run by Shady as he kind of runs up that seam. He's saying, all right, yeah, I want to get into some of this too, and he's not afraid to get contact, take contact, and give contact. That's one fun thing about Shady that maybe not everybody's seen yet so far this year.
Time for a classic 4-minute drive here for Hastings. Ooh. You know they got plenty of time to run the ball with Shattuck.
Handoff from Hansen. Shady reads his blocks. Look, you're trying to pull him down by his jersey, and he still drags a man for 2 more yards, and then is finally taken down. Nice tackle there, getting in, and even having to say a little something to Shady there. Axel Clemmy, the sophomore. But it's a first down. Shady will have the last laugh, if you will, on that particular carry.
It's not the first time we've seen him tackled by his jersey, and certainly won't be the last. I mean, if you can get your hand on him, that might be all you can get at times.
If you haven't seen the punt return, that's all it has to be referred to as now, the punt return. Someone tried pretty much pulling him down by the pants. I mean, that's not going to work. He'll run out of him, and he'll still run in for a touchdown as he takes a handoff this time, gets a couple. Shady's probably got, Dick, 70 maybe? I would say. I'll ask Dick Craig here in a little bit. I know he's going to go on the radio here at halftime, but he's got to be 70, 80. I mean, and it seems like he quietly rolls up like 200 like it's nothing, and we've seen that throughout the year. Even in losses for the Raiders where Shattuck has found his yards. Long count for Hansen. Will roll out. He's got pressure, though. Gets the pass off. Caught by Lundstrom. Then takes a little pounding for all of his hard work. Gain of 3 to the 30. So 3rd and, mid. So 3rd about 5. Not a bad spot, but 2:16 to go here. Yeah, if you don't get it here, you're probably going to punt it, give it to him with about a minute left. So we'll see what Hastings elects to do. I'd love to see him get the first down. Now, Raiders, you got Weber, too, that, from 25, 30 in, he's pretty dang good. I mean, you can get in that spot there. You can finish at points if you can't get a touchdown. Under center is Hansen. Single back, Shady gets the pitch. Out left side, finds a little room. Oh my, up and over. A big hit there as Shattuck goes backside over Tea Kettle, and it was the battle of the running backs again as Jaden Kinzel Arredondo said a pleasant hello to Shady Shattuck and turns him head over heels. Oh my.
He's playing defense like a cruise missile right there.
This game has been as physical as I've seen this year. I mean, really, between these two teams. I know watching parts of the Mankato East Hastings game too, there was some physicality in that game too. But really here, I mean, this is what we've come to expect from these two teams, and boy, are we seeing it as the Raiders will let it go down to about a minute 1 on the clock. And like we talked about before this, will likely be a punt and then go out there and play defense, get the football back.
Well, I'm a little perplexed why Two Rivers wouldn't take a timeout there. You let 40 seconds run off the clock. I mean, obviously it's 4th and 2, so they could come out and try to surprise you with trying to get a 4th down conversion there. But it's a little surprising for Two Rivers. I know that it's a pass-heavy offense and they can get these big chunk plays, but Arnis, oh man, of course they had to show gridiron right in the middle of the brilliant point I was making. Now we got to talk about gridiron. Probably the nicest pirate ship around. I mean, that's true. I mean, you can't beat that thing. We do not know yet if it's seaworthy. We're still working on finding out if we can take it for a pleasant sojourn to start next season. What are you doing after the game? The chop on the Mississippi today is a little bit, I don't know if we're going to take it out today. Back to punt at Arness. Hits the wind and then end over end. Just kind of hangs up there. And a flag comes in late. I sure hope that's not against the Raiders.
Guys, there's been way too many of these ticky-tack, little things that, stuff that you can help. Coach Strain always says, control the controllables. It's one of my favorite quotes from Coach Strain, and that's something you can control. Some sort of kick interference, I guess. I mean, they let him catch it. We're going to take a look. And Coach Strain is very angry, and I don't blame him because they let him catch it. Coach Strain is still, he's looking down at the official saying, you got to be kidding me. They didn't touch him or anything, and Coach Strain, what did they give a flag to Lundstrom for touching his back?
There's a pat on the back. The play's over. The play's dead.
Boy, I don't know. Wow. Okay, back to pass. Altavilla right. Throws a worm burner. My goodness. That thing had some velocity, but nobody was going to catch it, even his receiver, and that time out to the right west. Let's take a look again. I mean, I don't think anybody touched the... No. Nobody got involved in...
And the play's dead. People are walking away.
The play's dead. Lundstrom was avoiding him. If they say that's a late hit or kick interference, I just can't agree with that. And you all are watching the same game Mailman and I are, so it's not like we're just trying to float your boat here. I mean, that was a boat down there. Boat, get it? Oops, sorry.
I see what you did there.
2nd down. Back to pass. Altavilla finally. And Altavilla is going nowhere. Give Gabe Dorham a little piece of that sack. Also, some Beisel in there. Also had a little bit of Braden Thompson in there. So give a little bit to everybody if you want to on that particular play. It's now 3rd exceptionally long. 40 seconds left. That was just a pressure sack. I mean, just perfectly executed call, first of all, and then for the boys to execute it as well as the coaches wanted it to be in that particular order gave Altavilla nowhere to go on what seemed to be kind of a drawn-up run there as he had nowhere to go.
Well, it's in some ways it's classic Raiders football. When just when they need something to happen, somebody steps up. Just when the offense is faltering a little bit, just when you're getting some of these penalties, although the last one obviously will exclude that one, but some of the other preventable penalties, the defense kicks in and they're keeping them in the game. Somebody's standing up and keeping the Raiders in this.
And you gotta think that in this type of game too, I mean, the seniors are down there leading the attack. I mean, whether they're on the sidelines, not necessarily in the play-to-play part of the game, but I mean, whether they're cheering their teammates on or out there executing, those seniors got to drive the bus right now because the season's on the line in this very game. 2 receivers split out to each side here for Two Rivers. And back to pass is Altavilla. He's in trouble. He's sacked. And the Raiders send pressure, and Afi Shadenko the one to bring him down. You talk about leadership, and, well, there's part of it there in our senior leader. And if anybody's going to bring him down to force fourth down, why not have it be 5-0?
Perfectly said. But it's not just the season on the line; it's the career on the line for the seniors.
You're right.
As well. This could be the very last game. Either way, you win out. There's not too many games left, but certainly if you lose here, this could be the last game for some of these players, and they're certainly playing like it.
We know it is here at home. So for those seniors, they know that this crazy wild day game, kind of a collegiate feel, might be, well, foreshadowing what things could be for some of these seniors that will move on to the next level, even D3, D2. It doesn't matter for some of these kids that'll get to play on Saturday afternoons, even as quickly as next year. It'll be super, super special. We want to make sure that we tell you folks a little bit about Saving Community Television, because you folks here that have watched HCTV and our sports coverage for as long as we've done it, and I mean back into the 80s, I'm talking, with more and more people cutting cable each day. Funding for community TV stations is in rapid decline. To help keeping these games on the air, we need your support. And to learn more about how you can get involved, head to savecommunitytv.com for more information, or consider leaving a donation at hastingstv.org/donate. Because we love doing what we do, especially when we're here on a Saturday afternoon in the playoffs at home in front of our home crowd. Raiders right now looking for the last play of the game to be a fruitful one, or last play of the half to be a fruitful one. And it's going to be Altavilla throwing up a little bit of a bomb. Hastings gets a hand. Ashton Arness gets it over to Beisel, and Beisel gets an interception at the half. And that's how things wrap up, and why not? Two rivals that know each other so darn well. It's going to end up 7-7 at half. Here's a look at the final play. Altavilla, man, he's got an arm, but look at that play. Arness flips it on over to Beisel for his pick. And boy, the Raider defense, you could say a lot about both sides' defense, but Raiders coming out here and executing, and they need to play just like that in the second half if they want to win this thing in the final 24 minutes of play.
Oh, no question. This is how the game had to go as we get to look at some of the scores here. That was the first score of the game for Hastings. That 24-yard Foss touchdown just totally took the top off of that Two River secondary.
And there's Verdeja in the backfield after rumbling all over the Raider defense. That entire drive, he finishes it with a 2-yard run. All power all the time from 24, and he gets in there, and boy, the Warriors kind of felt it there, hit the extra point. It was 7-7, and that's where we're at. Both teams traded the football a couple times in the fourth quarter, but nothing really coming about. That's a lie. It is 7-7 here on HCTV as these two teams, again, big-time rivals, know each other so well. And what we're going to do is take our playoff halftime break, and when we come back, we'll have more, including your second half kickoff, which will be owned by the Hastings Raiders. Your score at halftime, 7 apiece, here on Hastings Community Television.
What a move, what a goal! Oh, what a shot, scores! The Raiders, can they get the lift? Yes, they do.
Just snipes one.
Oh my God! And reaching up and making the play. It's moving! It's over!
Looking to throw, and she's going to get the first down.
One! Touchdown, Raiders!
Oh, hey there. Do you like HCTV?
That's one small step for Hastings and one giant leap for community television.
Do you want a custom video that promotes your business or organization and gives you the results you're looking for? As an HCTV sponsor, our staff will work with your business or organization to create a custom video to promote your brand. You also have an option of getting a shout out in every sporting event we cover. And that's 3 points for your business.
So support HCTV today!
Go to hastingstv.org/sponsors for more information or to give a one-time donation.
But here is the difference for the class of 1990.
We went from my pie Eagles to Al and Peg.
I know you're all excited about Y2K. You could lose power or party like it's 1999.
Hastings High School has been graduating seniors since the first commencement of the 87. Congratulations, class of 2023. Go Raiders!
Funding for community TV is in rapid decline, and HCTV will not survive without your help. Let your local representatives know that you support community TV. To learn more, visit savecommunitytv.com.
We were talking a little bit at halftime. You know, it's kind of interesting because for all that went well in the first half, for all that went wrong in the first half for both teams still have to feel like they're in a pretty good position here. Certainly the Raiders because they're getting the kickoff here, but I mean both teams got to feel like they're really in this one, and that with just a few adjustments that they could end up on top in this game.
I think the Raiders right away want to put together a good drive. I mean, we've seen a couple, you know, each way. I think that both coaches will find some good on the tape when it comes to the first half, but more or less a couple that stalled or fell apart or ended on an interception or penalties might have hauled them out. We got to sharpen up some of that stuff as Birkin will take the kickoff return at the 16 to the 20 to the 25, and then there goes the flag, and Birkin gets into open space, 45 midfield, and he's probably coming back anyway. And the Two Rivers Warriors are saying that it's against Hastings. So we'll see what this is. It's going to be a holding call, and Hastings will start from deep inside their territory. So if they want to score, they're probably going to have a pretty long drive unless we get one loose here. But not the way the Raiders wanted to start their offensive drive after Birkin got out near midfield.
No, and especially after they were so hankered with penalties in the first half. I mean, it is interesting how Birkin just seems to be a magnet for kickoffs. I mean, he's getting more kick returns than Shattuck, than anybody who's proper back there.
They're trying to stay away from Shady as much as possible because they know that a little bit of open space, even on the kickoff, if his eyes can see up the entire field, he could be gone in an instant. He'll be the single set back off the far side hash for Hastings, left to right on your TV screen, and Shady carries the ball forward and will gain about 3.
It seems like this is probably a good time in the game for Shattuck to go full Shady. I mean, if he could pull off an 85-yard touchdown run here, I mean, this would be very beneficial to Hastings prospects.
So haven't said Elliot Hagen's name yet. He's been involved on and off quite a bit in the Raider offensive lineup. He'll line up as a wide receiver here in that tight formation as the line entirely seemingly moving from the far side of the field to the near, and they read that out well as Shady finds just a little seam, and he'll gain a couple as they are really holding Shady Shattuck in pretty well in check compared to any other team that we've seen so far this year.
Well, I think that's a great thing there. You see Hagen with the block 36. I think it's interesting you mentioned Hagen because at least a couple of times a game, a handful of times a game, they run that sort of, you know, off motion play with Hagen. You wonder if they couldn't burn Two Rivers with that play because it's been Hansen with the rollout. It's been Shattuck. You know, you wonder if they're maybe holding on to that.
Seen Lundstrom open a couple of times for some good catches. He had one airmailed on him too. Could have had a third. Here's a little bit of a double reverse. This is going good. Trying to be too cute, Shady to Hagen to the 5. And this is a little sign of what we might have saw 5-10 years ago going, oh no, what is this? And that was not the time and the place for that particular play to come out of the billfold.
Well, it's just a puzzling play because the problem with the Raiders offense here is that Two Rivers defensive line is getting so far in the backfield, Shady doesn't have any room to go. So when your backfield is getting penetrated like that by Two Rivers, running a cute play like that doesn't really make a ton of sense.
Arnis back on the top of the S. And he puts it away. Still gets a decent one out of there. Still going to be a short field. This one will be returned out the far side, not for much by Cole Altavilla. So maybe a best case scenario, considering where the Raiders went back to and where they started after the initial flag to open the drive on the return. That was a drive from you-know-where for the Raiders. Hopefully none of that shows up anymore tonight.
Yeah, well, you can always count on Arnis to get off a good punt. That is the silver lining. He quietly is one of the better punters out there in the league, but yeah, that is not how you want to start the third quarter here if you're Hastings.
I am hoping that young man gets at least a shot to do it at the next level. And here is Altavilla pulling down, design, run, and he drops a shoulder into one of the Raiders' far side as Landon Johnson got the worst of that. And the quarterback, Altavilla, showing some toughness here as he rumbles out right side, darting out and absolutely hammering it down on Landon Johnson for a first down. And boy, I'll tell you what, this has been a whole different Two Rivers offense from the second quarter onward.
Yeah, you know, when you think of Altavilla, you think, you know, excellent arm. He's surprisingly fast, but don't forget the willingness to initiate contact like we saw there.
Two receivers split out to the left side, including Lagerman in the slot. Handoff goes to Verdeja, and he'll get about 4. Right side hash. Raiders had many in, including Boardman, who then pushed him out of there. I mean, it looked like maybe a couple extra words Verdeja was giving to the Raider posse that brought him down, and Boardman to get out of here. Second down, about 5.5 here.
Yeah, it has been a quietly chippy game between these two sides. You can tell it means a lot.
Audible. Looked over to the receiver's left side, pulls it down, he's gonna run, flag comes in. I don't think he got the first down regardless, but I think this is a hold anyway. So the Raiders might get a break this time in putting Two Rivers backwards. A lot of penalties in this game today. The holding call will move it back from the spot. 7th penalty of the game. Has not been a pretty game by any means. Penalty-wise. And now you look at the Two Rivers offense here with some of those big fellas on that line, and the Raider defense has done such a good job up front here today. Hopefully they can continue it here. 2nd and long. Ball at the 34 of the Raiders. Split a pass out far side, and that's, oh my goodness, nearly intercepted. Looking for West, and my goodness, the Raiders could have turned this game on its head. Let's take a peek as Altavilla, kind of a wobbling pass off the fingertips, took a hop, and there was Beisel with field aplenty. That would have been fun.
I was wondering how the ball, how we were looking at it, it looked like an optical illusion how the ball ended up in his hands.
I think we all in the press box thought maybe it was an interception just with the way we were able to not see the whole end of the play. 3rd down and long. Ball at the Raider 34, back to pin. Oh, he's going to take and run. Altavilla, he misses the first tackler and then carries half a posse down for 4th down, but it's going to be 4th and about 5 or so. You know they're probably going for this here. So the big play for Coach Orth there was just to get yards and then either get close enough that you can boot one, but that's not going to happen. They're going to have a 4th and manageable here. So this is a big spot for the Raider D. You get a stop here and keep flexing that muscle. There's been a lot of bending but not breaking today for Hastings. This is a great opportunity to continue that trend.
That's why you can't celebrate the 3rd down stop when they're going for it on 4th here. This would make up for that initial drive they had if they can stop them here and keep points off the board.
Altavilla near hash. Back to pass quickly. Incomplete! Raiders will turn them over on downs, and it's Shaney Shattuck in coverage. Trying to go at Shaney on 4th down, and Shaney says, I don't think so. And it's Shaney here in Hastings today, and not the way you'd be thinking by running the ball up and down the field, although he's done a good job of that. He's made a couple defensive plays in limited snaps, and some big ones at that, including another on 4th down. He's done that a couple times this year. I keep turning the light on everybody because I get too excited. Sorry, I'm the wrong guy to have on this side of the press box today. Here is the handoff, Shattuck, and a lot of that, running you're seeing just kind of tough yards. I like it. I mean, Shady's showing that he's more than that finesse back. He's willing to get dirty, willing to instigate the contact, and he's kind of winning these battles with a very physical front.
And I think they might need that. They might need an 8-minute drive here or something, because they're not getting it done with acute plays. They're not getting it done passing. It might have to be Shattuck running the ball 8-9 times in a drive. Just keeping ahead of the chains has been a big problem for Hastings here tonight.
Hansen hands off. Shattuck bounces off a man, trips over another, gets out near the 30, gains a couple. Third and fairly short here for the Raiders. And again, we want to keep the ball here if you're Hastings. I mean, their defense has been out here just a little bit too long. You'd like to see them get a little bit of a break here. So, I mean, really, you need a couple of first downs here to string together to give your guys a breather, as Two Rivers took some time off the clock. The pretty good drive that ended in nothing because of the Raider D. And here's Shady again, just nothing. Shattuck is being absolutely chewed up and spit out.
Well, and this is what you're talking about with the defense, too. I totally agree. The defense is standing on their head, but if you keep withdrawing from the bank, eventually you're going to hit negative. You don't want to ask your defense to do too much, because eventually, they've been doing a good job bending. Eventually, they just will break. They will get tired. You don't want to ask too much of them, and they might be doing that here on this next drive.
Back in punt formation at the 16 is Arness, and the left-footed booter. Nice kick, wobbler, near side, doesn't give him much room to return it. Nice job by Ashton Arness again, as this one returned for minimal yardage by the other of the Altavilla boys. That's Cole Altavilla. And now Two Rivers back out. The Raider defense going to be asked to do another job after doing many jobs here tonight, only allowing the 7 points. And that came in the second quarter. The really first nice drive of the game for Two Rivers. They've had a couple. I mean, both teams have had them stall out. Both teams, the one that Hastings stalled out on, maybe should have punted that one, trying to get it down inside the 5 or something, let that defense eat. But we can look back at it all we want to, can't redo it. Now a 7-7 game here, third quarter, with 5:46 to go. And rolling out to his right, and the pass is going to be complete, I think. My goodness. Pass caught by Lonnie West. Going to kind of lay out to make the grab. We'll take a peek at this one again, because this was a beautiful catch out to the right side.
Yeah, these receivers for Two Rivers have done such a good job of route running and getting open, especially on these curls, especially on these outs. I mean, you got to credit the timing with Altavilla, but the route running as well is impressive.
They'll split 2 wide to the left, far side of the field. Lining up right hash, short side, front of the bench of Two Rivers. The Warriors with it. Flancha will take it, and he'll jump across midfield. Gain about 5. Spotted around the 49 of Hastings, so across midfield again. And we've seen this a little bit from Two Rivers here from the second through the third quarters. Being able to chew it between the 20s a little bit. They've been able to move the football between the 20s. And they continue to do that here on this very drive, down with the 49 of Hastings across midfield. It's second down, call it 5 yards to go. Ball at the 49 of the blue and gold. Two Rivers on the road, sends 2 guys in motion to the far side of the line off right. Now lining up as a wing back, as a handoff to Flancha off right. He'll find a little bit of room. He'll find more than a little bit of room. Gets a seam, gets out first down across the 45 to about the 43-yard line. That'll move the chains for Two Rivers.
Flancha, he just got so much speed going to the sidelines there in such a short amount of distance there. I mean, these Two Rivers running backs, I mean, whether it's Vendeja or whoever, I mean, they are not afraid to really try to lay down the law.
You got kind of an Alvin Kamara type of guy in Flancha, and you got a bowling ball like Scannaboo with, the guy in Verdea who's been just fun to watch. Here's the Big long drop here for Altavilla. Puts it up. Nearly intercepted by Carter Herman O'Brien again. He put that into nowhere but blue and gold territory. And boy, this place would have went absolutely ballistic. You would have heard us in Red Wing. Off the fingertips, second down. That would have been a big play for the Raiders, but opportunistic again, that Raiders secondary.
Yeah, that would have been big right there. That would have been clutch if they could have halted this drive here. Because like you've been saying, they have been moving in the middle of the field, but as the defense compresses, they've been stopping them. You just hope that holds up as the game goes on for Hastings.
Second 10 out of the gun again. Handoff this time for Dayhill. Won't get much at all. He'll gain maybe a yard if he's lucky. Second down about 9, or third down about 9 for Two Rivers, working that right hash in front of their own bench here. As we hit near the 4-minute to go mark here, third quarter. Glad you're with us on a Saturday afternoon. Cloudy, overcast day. Rain non-existent anymore after kind of a drizzly, dreary start. Clouds still out. Lights are on here at Todd Field, but about a 50-degree day. Not bad for fall. The playoffs here when you're talking high school football. And right now a 7-7 game with the Raiders and Two Rivers. Two rivals meeting up here in the playoffs. Out of the gun, third down, 9 yards to go off the right side hash. Altavilla barking out the calls. One receiver out to the right, 3 to the left side. We have motion. This is going to be a false start against the Two Rivers Warriors. That'll move them back even further, make it even that much tougher here. And this might even put him back in a punt spot if he can get the stop here and force a fourth down. He might be actually looking to get that football back. That's a big penalty.
That's a big one right there, especially when they've been so willing to, I don't want to say not go for the first down, but, you know, willing to get chunk plays to set up an easier fourth down. Any 5 yards you can get is going to be a benefit here for Hastings, and especially the guys in the secondary who got to feel like, well, now they're sort of forced to pass, and we've seen plenty of interceptions tonight here for the Raiders defense, plenty of almost interceptions as well.
On third down here, you might want to spy the quarterback. They ran on third and long last time in this very spot in the field. We'll see what they do here this time. A quick pass out to Lagerman. Lagerman at the 42 to the 40, down to about the 38. That'll be a shorter fourth down play, calling about 4th and 7 here now as Lagerman makes his impact known here tonight. Not too much here for the young man, but he makes a big play here that at least sets up that shorter fourth down. So maybe not a run this time, but again, just trying to chew up yards and kind of get a little closer here for a fourth down play.
Yeah, exactly like you said. I mean, they're very strategic when they're setting this up. And again, you're in no man's land. Anytime you're in between the 20 and the 50 at the high school level, it certainly feels like you're kind of trapped in between both
6'2", 255 pound or 215 pound Mace Carpenter, a tight end junior. He chimes in here into the ball game as Altavilla is forced out of the pocket, throws it up, and that will be incomplete. Raiders will take the football back on a fourth down play, and it looked like the play was exactly the way Altavilla wanted it to run, but I don't think he saw the safety help coming over the top, and he realized he was in a lot more trouble with the two men for the Raiders also creeping in. And a great job by Carter Herman O'Brien to get over from that top, and Arness from the side to really take anything away. All the angles were taken away, and we talked and joked about geometry earlier. Well, that was a great geometric play by the Raider D-backs to converge and force that out of bounds.
They're paying attention in math class, that's for sure. And a good job from Arness, too, to not run into the receiver, changing your coverage, because certainly, we know the refs have been very visible this game.
Hansen, beautiful rollout, but he throws it into triple coverage, and I don't think that play was there right in that particular spot. They also had Hagen going deep as well, trying to stretch the field a little bit. Raiders need to do that. They haven't completed many passes here since the first half, and need to do so to free up Shattuck a little bit more. He is found running a lot tougher here in the second half as opposed to the first. Dick, how many yards did Shattuck have about in that first half? 77 first half yards, though, for Shattuck on the ground. And sledding, as we said, a little bit. Fumble, and Hansen jumps on it, and that'll kill it down here. Now we're looking at third and long. Some wacky things happening here for the Raiders in the second half, and things that this 1999 Raider grad aren't very excited about.
Well, this, like I said earlier, they got to stay ahead of the chains. You have that incomplete pass, you have a botched snap there. Now you're really against the wall here. You really, the drives are going to come at a premium here as we reach the end of this game, and you hate to see a drive wasted here if they can't get a a first down.
Raiders go onto the gun, more traditional style here. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Raiders spread it out, and Hansen's pass is over the middle, caught by Foss. This is 4th down. It's going to be a little bit short, and I mean a little bit short, folks. Boy, I'm telling you right now, this is about 4th and inches. I would go for this. You have a quarterback who can slip through there, although, oh my goodness, it's hard to say that when you got D tackles that weigh almost 300 pounds. Oh boy, what do you do here, mailman? That spot's off.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you have.
Oh, first down! That's a great spot.
Amazing spot.
All right. Well, the white hat comes in. He overrules the black hat, and he says, man.
Well, we'll take another look. In all honesty, I think he was short. I don't think he got the first down there.
That's a great spot.
His feet got the first down, but, you know.
No chance to review. Hunter has already moved on with the play, and here we go, first down. Shady Doe, jeez. He gets hit at the line and thrown back. Well, hey, you really got to credit this front from 2 Rivers tonight, as they're taking one of the best, if not the best, running back in the state and making him look, a little more regular, but you know 26 wants to battle.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little surprised they don't try to get him on some screens. You know, we've seen a screen game be a part of this Raiders offense all season, and it seems like they're not having a lot of luck going up the middle. He's so good in space. You'd love to see them utilize some screens here.
So much size on that D-line. My goodness. Here's Shady, finds a seam this time, rumbles ahead, more tough yards, gain of 8. That's a pretty run. Again, gritty. It's not the flashy stuff today. He is running hard against a very tough front. And right there, that first burst through, eventually he gets held down by Ethan Salas and hangs on for dear life to take him down. That's what we need, 7-8 yards a carry. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm asking a lot considering what we might have had happen previous years, but need some big carries if we're going to run it. Stretch the field. 3rd down and 2. Fake a pitch. Nice handoff inside. Let's run the trap to Grant Perkin. When you need tough yards, give it to your captain. Let him do it. Grant Perkin just not your prototype. He looks like a wide receiver carrying the football. But man, just those high steps. He finds those little seams and then just gets enough every time he has the football.
It's hard to think of Birkin as a running back or a wide receiver. You got to think of him as a football player. Because he just does everything. He's just a football player. All 3 phases.
Still think he can really help a team at the next level. Here's Shattuck. He breaks the tackle. He gets into space, tackled from behind, and one of his longest runs in the game. It's for a first down. He gained nearly 20 yards. So Shady, as we hit the end, or close to the end of this 3rd quarter, maybe his best run of the game, over 100 yards now, is the junior back from the Raiders, Shady Shattuck.
Well, success begets success, and you're starting to see that for this Raiders offense.
All right, boys, got to finish. Blue and Gold fellas have football near in the red zone. We'll have that coming up to start the 4th quarter in just a moment. This is Playoff Football on Hastings Community Television. On HCTV, Nick Tucker alongside the mailman, Owen Ely. Raiders 7-7 with 2 Rivers starting the 4th quarter. These 2 rivals here in the playoff semifinals in Section 3-5A. Overcast skies continue, rain staying away. Here's Shady, and he will back into the line and then literally push his way for another couple extra yards. Shady really running tough tonight. I mean, this has been a total different style. But boy, he is, again, over 100 yards tonight doing his job.
Yeah, you got to credit him. I mean, like we say with Birkin, it's true with Shattuck here tonight. I mean, there's not been a single easy yard for him. You know, sometimes he's just so talented. We've seen throughout the year, he can get easy yards. He can get hard yards too, but he gets a lot of easy yards because he's so talented. But tonight it has been difficult, and he's really stood up to the task.
As we would expect in a playoff game. This time Birkin, not much there, and he's turned for a loss as well. So not exactly the way we wanted it to go here for Raider Nation, but boy, if you're Two Rivers, you got to be excited about the way your defense is playing from the 30 in all game. See Birkin right there, just didn't have enough room, and great outside pursuit. Finished in a big tackle.
And again, the Raiders might find themselves in an interesting position here if they can get a few yards. I mean, you're slowly getting into field goal range. It is a tie game, but
even for Webby, if he can get it close, not a lot of wind. Back to pass, Hansen on the run. It's a man open, it's Foss. First down, Hastings. Caught at about the 11-yard line, and that's perfect. Gain of about 12, and that's a first down. Raiders in the red zone, and you gotta like that.
And Hansen couldn't lose. He either completes the pass to Foss, or I think he could have taken that with his legs and got the first down as well. Not that we've seen him run too much, but I think that was a win-win situation for Hansen, and he made the right choice.
He has just enough speed to be very dangerous, elusive, you could say. And here is Hansen again under center. He will hand off to Shady, left side, has room, touchdown Hastings! Yes! Back that ball across the line, and the Raiders in from 11. Shady Shattuck, his first of the game, and the Raiders take the lead back. It's 13-7.
And that's exactly what the Raiders have been chasing since that first touchdown in the first quarter, just trying to put any points on the board, and whether it's penalties, whether it's, you know, maybe incorrect play calling or just good defense from Two Rivers. I mean, it's taken almost 3 quarters, but they finally get on the boards here and get the lead.
11 plays, 63 yards, and it ends with Weber putting it through for the extra point kick that is good. And Hastings, they have the lead back. It's 14-7 here against their rivals in the playoffs. And you take a look again, Shady finally found that edge. The rest, he did it himself, reaches that ball over. He had enough room, he gets in. And again, that athleticism, but speed kills Buddy, and you saw him go into overdrive.
Well, they call him Shady, and he's so good at being shifty behind the line, but he really excels when he can get around the edge, and there has not been an edge to get around tonight against Two Rivers. That was probably the first time all night where there was an edge where he was capable of using his speed to get around, and obviously you see the result there.
Shattuck, a big touchdown, gets patted on the back by an injured Marlowe Strain. Got a chance to see that young man after our last home game. And, you know, even though he's injured, he gets it, the whole thing, he knows that there's good that's going to come out of it. He's going to be just fine eventually. Is this onside? Kind of a kick, just a high poocher that'll be taken out the far side out of play by one of the upbacks. And I believe that to be 41, and that would be Deacon Staples. So, the Two Rivers Warriors will start. Ball around the 35, their own. Raiders up 14-7, Section 3-4A playoffs, fourth quarter. Overcast. It feels like it's kind of getting brighter, a little bit brighter throughout the day. I mean, it's been so gloomy and yucky. Kind of look out to the west and southwest, you see a little bit of those whiter clouds that I think the sun might sneak out here before too long. Out of the shotgun. Here's Altavilla. He will hand off to Flancha. The little guy finds room, breaks a tackle, first down. Gets across the 45, down to the 47. That's enough to move the chains. Another nice run. And again, Flancha diminutive, but has speed. And boy, again, when you're not that big, you have those smaller seams. You fit through those seams right there. What a nice break of the tackle. Gets through before he meets up with fellow number 14, Landon Johnson, who took care of business.
Yeah, sometimes there's a benefit to being a little smaller. Yeah, you fit in the cracks there. Well, you just hope the Raiders' defense has enough gas in the tank here to stop them. They've been excellent for the last handful of quarters, and now that the offense got some points on the board, you hope that they can still stand tall here.
Flancha on the carry, left side, gains 4, maybe 5. Looks more to the latter. 14-7 Hastings, clock ticking, 9:19 to go in regulation. The reason I say regulation and not the game is because these two teams have played more overtime games in their existence than I think teams, I mean, you look back at so many times where these two teams have gone into 10-10 games, into overtime, 14-4. It's always seemed low scoring because these two teams know so much about one another. And here is Altavilla, and we're going to have a motion penalty. The running back left before the snap even got to the quarterback, so we're going to go ahead and move back to Rivers, the number 3 seeded Warriors. And the 2 seeded Raiders will advance back further into 2 Rivers territory again.
Well, I'll say if we do head to overtime, I'm going to place that announcer's jinx squarely on you there.
It's just that it happens all the time, and I've been part of them anyway, so I feel like I am the jinx. I am already the jinx. Had too many of those games. Lagerman splits out wide to the right, one to the far left side. That's Lonnie West. Also a tight end in the mix off right. Here's a handoff for Dana. Gets across midfield, rumbles ahead, gets near a first down. Gonna be a yard short. So gain of about 9. So 3rd down and about a yard in a big spot again for the Raiders. Boy, I'll tell you what, you can get a tackle for loss here. You really force some serious decision time for coaches Orth and Carpenter. And they'll come out of the shotgun, pistol formation, 2 receivers off left side, including Schuler, who's been fairly quiet today so far. High snap! And he pulls it down, runs right, first down. Initial penetration, had they brought him down in the backfield, that would have been a big tackle for loss. Instead, it evolves somehow into a first down run. And boy, great awareness by Drew Altavilla. I mean, that was not an easy play to get that high snap and break through there. As you saw in the replay, just smarts at the quarterback position. And now again, 1 to the right. 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and the 1 to the left again is Schuler, who, like we said, has been noticeably quiet. Jet sweep. They're going to hand it off left, and nothing there for Cole Altavilla. He might have gotten back to the line if he's lucky. 2nd down, 10 again. And we'll take a peek here, as that just didn't have much to go on right away, and the Raiders noticed that. You saw the tackler and Carter Herman O'Brien before the play tapping on his helmet. He already kind of knew what was happening there. He set up the play and made the solo tackle. That's not easy in space. You got to give a lot of credit there to Carter Herman O'Brien on that stop.
No, these defensive backs for Hastings, they've always been great tacklers, great gang tacklers, great open field tacklers, and he had hawk vision the entire time watching Altavilla on that sweep.
Altavilla to pass. Right side runs, pulls it down, will take off. He'll gain a couple, ball comes out, and Hastings, I think, is on it. Ball still loose. I don't know. Raiders got it. Boardman says flag on the play. There's all sorts of carnage out here on the field. What is going on? Raiders say they have it. I haven't seen an official point anyway, anyhow. Point towards Prescott. My goodness. What are we going to say?
Well, a lot of deliberation going on here.
There is too much deliberation. I want to see the replay. Well, we will wait just a moment. Raider football. They want it to be Raider football. It's Raider football! Penalty was against 2 Rivers anyway. Raiders decline it. And it will be Hastings football. That is the play of the game. And let's take a peek here. Altavilla gets kind of tripped up and really put him off kilter. Ball came out. Boy, I think he might have been down. Ball does come out, and who is it? Xavier Tim, who puts that smack down in there. Along with, who was 11 in there, too, Case and Esterby. He's been hitting people hard all season. Big play. play. Maybe the play of the game for the Raiders, and very well now, if they can hang on to this win here, could be the play of the season for Hastings.
Could be a game-clinching play if they can get an extensive drive going here. I mean, the pressure's really going to be turned on Two Rivers.
Coach Carpenter is livid. Coach Orth standing kind of behind off 9 o'clock to him. Coach Orth's kind of bringing Coach Carpenter over, saying, all right, we're good now. Let's just move on. Oh, boy, were they heated far side. And again, looking at the replay, it was very close to thinking he might have been down as that ball was coming out. No evidence there, and there's no replay, of course, in high school football until you get to the state tournament.
Well, we'll take another look at the replay here. We'll let you decide. Ooh. It certainly was close.
120 on the ground now for Zach Shattuck, says Dick Craig.
It seems fairly obvious on replay in slow-mo that he was down.
He was down.
But obviously that's a bang-bang decision that the refs have to make.
Raiders playing well defensively tonight. Now catch a break that they have really not gotten much of today. As Shattuck, like a missile, flying into the defensive line. And look who gets up off the bottom of the pile. And he has been playing his tail off today. 5'10", 350-pound senior Sawyer Rolfus. Man, he has been a run-stuffing plugger that has just gave Zach Shattuck and the rest of the Raiders nowhere to run in the middle.
I just don't know how you move a guy like that.
Can't. You just can't. But the Raiders have done such a good job today of doing just that. Finding a way. Here's Shattuck. And again, not going to get too much. On a third down carry, that'll force fourth down, and the Raiders go 3 and out very quickly. And now Rolfus, who's been working his tail off, and he has been slow to get up a couple different times in this drive. Now he is down on his belly, and he needs some help getting up. That poor young man, like I said, you just got to tip your cap to big number 79 because he has given everything he's got in the tank here tonight. Has given Two Rivers a chance up front to really slow down this Raider rushing attack, which not many people have been able to do. And even slowing down the Raider rushing attack is still like 200 yards for Shady Shattuck as we will take a look at some tasty goods from savory butter burgers to sweet scoops of frozen custard, including your wonderful daily pick. We've got something handcrafted for everyone. You can visit us at Culver's of Hastings in our location next to Cub Foods right here in town, right up there on the west side near Hastings High School. So if you're going up there, and of course the Spool House, from prom to weddings, let us suit your formal wear needs. And more information is available at thespoolhouse.com/sewing.html.
Gonna need them to fix up Shattuck's jersey after the game.
I believe you are correct. Again, that has been one of the ways that he's been brought down tonight.
Well, it's crazy how 90 seconds of game clock has elapsed since that turnover, and they're about to punt the ball away. I mean, that's credit to Two Rivers, I suppose.
But not an efficient drive for the Raiders that many here at home were hoping for. Arness back at the 15. Snap coming from around the 26. Kick, decent. Takes a Raider hop and goes past the hand of Beisel, thankfully. Down just about nose on the 40.
And amazingly, no kick-catch interference on that one.
And again, the thing we were told was it was a trajectory thing. If you're in the way of the trajectory, then they're going to call that. First down for Two Rivers. Go out of the pistol formation with two receivers left, and this time they'll hand off. Flancha finds a little lane there to cut back into the middle, right to the midfield stripes. A little short of a first down. Right on the 50-yard line. There's a gain of about 9. Second down and 1 for Two Rivers.
And now it's Hastings going back to their defense, just asking them for one more stop. Can we get one more stop? Can we get one more turnover?
Handoff. Flancha, right side, gets the first down. Almost lost the football, too. They're going to say he was down before he coughed that up. Take a look again on this replay. As we'll see Flancha here. Get upended. Yeah, the ground caused the ball to come out.
You've seen so many running backs in the air tonight. I mean, they both, really on both sides, but particularly Two Rivers, they're running so fearlessly. I'm not sure how they do that.
First down here for Two Rivers. Two receivers split out wide to the left side, one near side right, and that's Lonnie West. Out of the pistol. Handoff goes to Verdeja. What a great tackle. First one in the backfield. Barrett Boardman, no gain on the play. Late flag will be thrown against Carter Herman O'Brien for coming up and shoving the would-be ball carrier after the play. He didn't hear the whistle, but that doesn't matter. The whistle still came, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. Not good.
It's just totally preventable.
Not smart.
Game's on the line here. The defense is trying to hold strong. We'll take another look at the replay here. It's unfortunate that penalties have played such a large part.
He threw one of the guys off of him that they were kind of tangling with. It wasn't the actual ball carrier. Quick shout out as well. Raiders football team's manager, Colton McGrath, is at home. He's recovering from ACL surgery, and he is at home listening, watching, and cheering on the Raiders. And we're just wanting to make sure we send a little bit of blue and gold well wishes to that young man. Hopefully he gets that knee better. Get well soon, Colton, as the Raiders leading 14-7. Handoff here goes to Verdeja. And he will fall ahead for about a yard, maybe two. Oh, they give him 3 or 4. My goodness. Talk about a left foot spot. Second down and 6. And Two Rivers trying to hustle the line. Remember, there's 2:38 left. Clock is running. Tick, 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 tick. And now Altavilla trying to rush him to the line. He gives it off. Verdeja running right side. Block set up. And also if hold comes in, that'll help the Raiders. Not much of anything on the carry. Coach Strain very happy there at the end of the play. Had a couple words for Boardman there. He wanted to make sure he can get a new helmet on. He broke his helmet, so he's going to quickly run over and grab Adricula's helmet, see if it fits. Does it fit? He says, yeah, I think so. It'll at least work for now. You know, you've seen pit stops, changes and all that stuff in auto racing, but I've never seen a helmet on the run like that. So now the Raiders, after the penalty, have their defense out here 2nd and 15. Ball about the 34-yard line. Second down, out of the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 near side right. Single back for Verdeja, back to pass. Altavilla puts it up off the hands of Cole Altavilla. Great play in the backfield. Carter Herman O'Brien making up for it a bit after the penalty that was not necessary in the controllable format. Right there makes a big play in the secondary and maybe a game-saving or overtime-saving play there. That sets up 3rd and 15, a big play again, and this is those situations that every one of these kids in both teams, you're playing in the backyard growing up, you get down, final couple minutes, close game. I mean, you got to put yourself in those situations in this particular moment.
And you got to credit Trey Beisel on the pressure there, too. Came in like a missile from the near side.
That's not shocking. That young man has done that all year. What's this? Did somebody... Okay, we were talking about this before. Now, earlier, there was somebody in the crowd that was playing with a whistle.
Does Boardman have to sit out because his helmet came off for a play? Is that what?
I don't know what happened there. I thought for a minute they were pointing to the crowd. Now, at halftime, Manny Hill had to announce to the crowd that whoever has the referee's whistle in the crowd need to put it away or we're going to need a 15-yard penalty. I thought for a moment there, as the officials were pointing to the crowd and pointing with their finger, I was getting very worried there.
That'd be very on brand today.
Oh my gosh. Out of the gun. Altavilla on 3rd and long, finds his man on a slant. It's caught And it's down to the 1, or is it in for a touchdown? It's a touchdown. Touchdown on the play. Cole Altavilla. The Altavilla boys connect. And now 14-13. Extra point coming up to tie it. Oh my.
Well, how big is this extra point upcoming? Nothing's a given at the high school level, but there we see the touchdown from Cole Altavilla. You know, we talk about Drew so much, but Cole Altavilla, you know, just another one of these great receivers for Two Rivers. Looks like we'll get a timeout called here.
Now, the thing I'm wondering is if Two Rivers on the road doesn't go for 2 here.
That'd be something if they did.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, an opportunity for these guys to come down here and win and really put the pressure on Hastings or find a way to win. I mean, this is an interesting spot, and the timeout here makes me feel like something might be happening here because the Warriors were the ones who called the timeout.
Well, you have such a big offensive line, and the way Verde has been running in you know, these bruising manner, I mean, maybe they do think, and Altavilla's got great legs, so he could roll out on a bootleg or something. I mean, if I was the Raiders, I might be a little worried that they're going to go for 2.
7 plays, 60 yards to cap on the touchdown pass from Drew Altavilla to Cole Altavilla. 14-13, extra point pending, coming. They're going for 2. They're going for 2. Altavilla comes out for the lead. Verdeja in the backfield. Are they trying to bark the Raiders off sides? Out of the gun. They're going for it. Altavilla passes, puts it up, it's caught. 2-point conversion, good. Warriors lead at 15-14 with 1:57 left. Johnny Longerman.
Of course, he's been burning Hastings for years at this point. Take another look at the replay here. Just perfection.
Jeez. That young man has just torched us for years and years, it seems, and finally he'll graduate, but boy, oh boy, is he giving a final send-off his senior year in the playoffs. And take a look.
Well, and this is going to be the touchdown pass.
Just found a nice spot, soft inside. Shook off that first tackle, and once he got through Trey Beisel, it was all over.
Well, and this game has been so much about swings. I mean, we talk about these points in the game where it could have gone one way, could have gone another way. When they got that stop with like 5.5 minutes to go or whatever it was, you know, it was really looking all Hastings. But you have a 2-minute drive, punt the ball away, they score, they get 2 points. I mean, they totally flipped the script here on Hastings, and now Hastings is against the ropes.
Raider fans, you know better than to count out your Raiders at this point. Kick, line drive, takes a hop, and it's going to bounce all the way back near the end zone. It's a touchback. All right, that's best case scenario from what it seemed like it was about to be. All right.
You very well could have stalled at the, one.
Okay, 2-minute drill. We can do this.
You got all 3 of your timeouts.
Yep. You got your timeouts. You got the best weapon in the state. You got a line that, I'll be honest, even though they've been outsized, they haven't backed down. They've tired these guys out. We've seen guys on their defensive line of Two Rivers down on the turf. This diminutive line has kept up. And do they have one more drive in them? We will see here. To pass, Hansen on the run. Oh, he had Foss in and out of his hands. Would have been a first down. 2nd and 10.
If you're Hastings, you just got to totally disregard that. Just move on to the next play. That would have been pretty helpful if they would have got that first down there and got out of bounds, but Got to have a short memory in these 2-minute drives.
Hastings 150 away from having their season stolen at home against their biggest rival. Weber starting to get his foot loose on the sidelines, back to pass, setting up a screen to Shady. It's caught. Shady breaks a tackle but gets only out to the 22. Minimal gain. Clock starting to run. 3 timeouts, 1:40 to go, and the Raiders will take a timeout. Should be 2 seconds put back on the clock too. So the Raiders take their timeout here now with 1:38 left. 2 timeouts left for each team. Warriors leading 15-14 here in fourth quarter, calling regulation time. Whoops, that was not fun. Oh, that fell down. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Throwing chairs in here. What's going on? It's not a Royal Rumble quite yet. Raiders, though, as a team, hoping to find some magic here in this final 2 minutes. Now, remember, Raiders can get, you got to get close enough here for Weber. See the clock there? They did put those 2 seconds back on.
What do you think the target distance would be for Weber?
You need to get down to the 15-yard line. 20 maybe. The wind is in his face. Remember that too, fans. The wind is blowing across the field here. And that's a pass that was tipped, I think, at the line, or that was just a pass that didn't connect. I don't know which one it was. We're going to have to take a look. If that got tipped at the line or if that was just a misthrown football. If it's a misthrown football, not the best time for that. Take a peek again as Hansen out of the gun. Drop back, fine. Quick 3-step drop. Set well. Threw it well. No, it just got kind of...
I think he got tipped.
Oh, okay. Well,
season comes down to this.
Wow. Raiders 2025 season. There's been lots of ups, some downs.
Yeah, they're going to have to call a timeout here.
They're going to call timeout here. And that will give everybody a chance to figure out what they want to do. And it will also give us a chance to also not just thank one sponsor, but really all of our sponsor supporters throughout the year. And thank you very much to the Schoolhouse Culvers. Both have been just so wonderful, and we want more as we get into the season, which will start with some girls hockey coming up here in just a few weeks. Believe it or not, folks, girls hockey always begins their practice setup right around Halloween. So that's going to be getting going here before too long. And, of course, we're going to have plenty of coverage throughout the winter season, the longest season we know we have here in the Tri-County area. Lots of fun that will be taking place, including hockey, basketball, swimming, and more. We'll have that right here on HCTV. And here we go. Hopefully we have some more football yet. 1:36 to go, but 4th and 8. Season on the line on this play. Hansen over the middle, tips in. It's going to be incomplete. And that'll do it. Unbelievable. You got to give big credit here to Two Rivers for coming in here today, afternoon game. Raiders looked really good off the start, but Two Rivers stayed with it all game long, found a way to keep grinding, and we knew this game would be a one-possession contest. We knew it would come down to the final, 4 minutes? How about final 91 seconds before we found a winner in this one, and it's going to be Two Rivers. 15-14, 1:31 to go. Raiders have 2 timeouts, but really, for all intents and purposes, close enough for a field goal try, even if it were to get to some weird spot where you wouldn't even want to try that because you'd end up maybe getting a block and returning it. You just run it out here if you're Two Rivers. What a bummer for Hastings and the excitement we've had here at Todd Field throughout the year. It's going to come, unfortunately, to an end here at home of all places. And like we've seen for the last 10, 12, 15 years, either Hastings ending Two Rivers season or vice versa.
Well, you know, they say a good rule of thumb with offensive philosophy and just gameplay philosophy is doing what would make the team nervous. And boy, you know, when we thought they were coming out for the extra point and then they called the timeout, you start to get really nervous because, you know, I mean, are you really afraid of them kicking the extra point and, you know, playing for overtime? They were not playing for overtime. They were playing to win the game. And you got to credit Coach Orth and the team for that 2-point conversion too, because the Raiders defense up until that point, really throughout the entire second quarter, third quarter, they were just standing on their head.
Right.
Verdeja had been doing really well in short yardage and things like that, but the defense was playing so well. That's what makes it so interesting that they decided to go for that 2-point conversion and play for the win.
Just a bummer. I mean, for the Raider fans, but you gotta feel really good for the Two Rivers kids, and they're going to get an opportunity after just physically willing themselves in the second half to a win, which they did. I mean, we know that every time you play Two Rivers for Hastings anyway, it's going to be, tough, and physical. And it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. I mean, every year that team puts out big fellas that can really play the game. And Two Rivers right now being stout on managing the clock while putting a couple of kneel downs out there, not really trying to find a way to give the Raiders any semblance of hope to get the football back. Two Rivers again will kneel it down, and that will do it. Two Rivers. Wow. They come into Hastings. They get the big dub. Playoff win. Raiders season will end at 4-5, and I can't believe I'm saying that right now after such a wonderful start. So many great things happening this year, but it ends at 15-14. And the Raiders will end their season at 4-5. Gosh, Mailman, I know I'm a bleeding heart Raider, so it might cut me a little more than your Park skin, I know, but you get very close to these guys as well. That's tough as you look at Shady. He did get that touchdown, but boy, they did a nice job bottling them up tonight.
Yeah, man, they played so well, and here's the final dagger, that touchdown pass from Altavilla to Altavilla, and Altavilla to Altavilla connection, and they get that 2-point conversion. Yeah, it's a devastating way to lose. I mean, you knew this game was going to be ugly. You knew this game was going to be physical, just like the first one. Sometimes when you're the team that loses the first matchup, you're kind of at an advantage in a way in the second matchup, because you know what you have to fix. When you win, you don't commit it as much to heart. But when you lose, when you know what's ahead of you, when you know what's on your plate, sometimes that could be an advantage, and it really was for Two Rivers here tonight. And man, that's a big win for them. And here we'll take a look at the bracket. They're going to take on St. Thomas. That'll be an interesting matchup. St. Thomas, always a powerhouse, always good. Probably the better team on paper than Two Rivers, but Two Rivers just has an ability to, they've been getting some good wins. That shutout against Northfield, that win against Mankato East, and obviously the win here on the road at Hastings. So you got to figure they're going to be live dogs in that one. So take a look at the winter sports preview. Like you said, a lot of hockey, a lot of girls hockey. Starts on the 11th versus Egan. Then a couple weeks later, we got girls hockey versus Hudson, boys hockey versus Dodge County to kick off December. And then the following day, we have girls hockey versus Two Rivers.
And that's going to be our winter. You're going to have lots of fun, all sorts of fun coming up. Don't be afraid to take a peek at our website, our Facebooks, our Twitters, all that fun stuff to let you guys know what's going on. Hunter Pinky, great job doing the producing and directing today. Mailman, always a great time to be next to you. Ian Andrusak, Max Locum, Tori Sellner, awesome. Hunter doing more stuff, graphics and replay as well. I want to thank you, bud. This was so much fun as always. You know how much fun I have when we're around here. We get all crazy and whatnot. Hopefully we can do some fun stuff here in the winter time. Basketball, hockey stuff. That'll be a great time as well. But a lot of good memories, and it's a bummer for the seniors. It's the hardest part of everything, but they're going to leave us with some great memories, and I think we had a lot of fun with them throughout the year.
Yeah, I couldn't put it any better. It was a fun year, no matter how it ends, no matter what the record. It'll always be remembered as a historic season, certainly from an offensive perspective. But this season meant a lot to a lot of people, and had to come to an end at some point, and they sure gave it their all here against Two Rivers, but came up short.
Raiders end the season at 4-5 overall. Two Rivers goes to 5-4. They have a date with St. Thomas Academy next weekend. For the Mailman Owen Ely, I'm Nick Tuckner. I've had a whole bunch of fun with you folks that have been watching throughout the year and can't wait to come back with you again next season. Of course, coming up in the winter as well. Don't forget Hockey Day in Minnesota coming up in Hastings this year. A lot more coming up on all that. We'll have plenty of primers and good fun preview stuff for you when we get to that point. But that's it for us for the fall. Final score, 15-14. The Two Rivers Warriors pull off the upset against Hastings right here on Hastings Community Television.